theater, we felt, came with so many gatekeepers. And maybe that was just our impression from where, our neighborhood. You'd have acting classes, but they would cost more than anyone could afford. You'd have theater, but, the tickets would be crazy prices. And what I love about Zoom, for better or worse, is that we all have the same Zoom. Whether you're us working from our cell phones, or you're an expensive TV station like Nickelodeon, Disney, both have to have Zoom to create what they're creating. And so we think, in a way, it even the playing field. I mean, did you feel that you felt like you were working on even playing with everybody, where it didn't feel like you had the elites versus the, in Shakespeare time, the groundlings versus the aristocrats? Did you feel like that's gone now, or do you think there's something still there?
In my opinion, there is a problem yet. That is, the audience has to learn how to set, how to configure in order to see our show. So this is the main difference from the other digital plays, because the other digital plays, you just go into the Zoom room and then they perform, but you don't have an aesthetics developed specifically using the settings of Zoom. Mm-hmm. So we have to somehow train the audience to follow some instructions, to configure the room. And some, especially older people, they have more difficulty. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, for example, many reviewers who are older, they had many problems connecting and understanding the setting. And this was sad, because it would be beautiful if they saw in the correct way, Mm-hmm. So I think but it's interesting, because one reviewer, an older man, he said, it reminds me of theater in Brazil in the 60s, when people didn't know how to go into a theater room, because it was new in Brazil. It was not so accessible. Or when people started using cell phones, and we had to say in the beginning, please turn your cell phones off, because they didn't know, and cell phones were ringing during performances. Mm-hmm. So this is like, you have to learn how to be a digital audience. And this is okay. I mean, this is the first step. But then when you learn it, it can be very nice. Mm-hmm. And also very, very democratic, as I told you, because when we think of theater, we are always thinking about big cities with big theaters. And then you have lots of different areas, and what happens to our performance, for example, we always played in our small venue in Praça Roosevelt, in Roosevelt Square in downtown Sao Paulo. And we couldn't perform all around the country. The country is gigantic, like the USA. And now we have audience who comes from very small villages all around the country, and they have the same possibility of viewing the show as someone who lives in a fancy, cool neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro or Sao Paulo. It's very, very democratic, and because of location. So this is very beautiful, I think.
Yeah, we absolutely love that. It's for us, we feel like digital theater's opened so many doors in educational ways, in societal ways. What is the future for you guys with the art of facing fear? Because when we saw it all, we're like, okay, one, it always needs to be marathon like that, because we love seeing first the African Europe, then the Brazil, and like, we don't speak Portuguese, but we were like, we understood what was happening. We could feel every moment, everything hit us, like we understood every word, even though we didn't understand every word. And then seeing the United States version where, you know, it hit closer to home with the Black Lives Matter message and stuff like that. So what's the next plan? Because if we're going to be selfish, we're like, ooh, they have to do this again. But we understand that that might be difficult. So what's the future?
Well, we have already another show in Brazil.
Ooh.
It's called The New Normals. It's about the life of people in the pandemics.
Mm.
Maybe we try to make other productions all over. I mean, but also I think the most important is that all the actors, all the artists who worked in the project, they have learned more or less the possibilities of the potential of digital theater, so they can use it for other projects. So I know Steve Rothman is developing a project using some resources from Zoom. And I know that people in Africa and they are using some resources in Nigeria. I think Shegun, one of our actors, was invited to develop a project for the government based on the digital performance. So this is, you know, this is nice. I think this is not for us, this is for theater in general, for art. So it's for everyone, I think. And I hope many people join us in this, because it's a rich possibility for theater right now to talk about all the questions we have to talk about. And there are so many. So, and digital theater offers us this possibility.
Of course.
I mean, for me, I think the beautiful thing is that just before the lockdown, we were planning the biggest African summit ever in the continent. So we had like 34 countries, including the diaspora, but also with the Art of Facing Fear, the beauty has been to meet new people and new thinkers, you know, beyond the box. And we want to do it, the summit next year or in the near future when things get back to the new normal. And I know that one of the plans that, because some of my colleagues have seen the show, me and Lebu were part of the show, has been that it will also be nice to allow a project like this to screen, you know, like what, you know, there's so many opportunities, you know, but also I think definitely I kept saying to Rudolfo, like, we want to, you know, you have to come to South Africa to speak, you know, to talk about this, explain it to the masses, because maybe we're not explaining it well, but I think just opposed to talking and giving a session to different practitioners is also to screen it so that it doesn't end, but also to show the possibilities of what the digital space has for all of us. So, and had I not been part of this project, had it not been of the pandemic, had it not been, you know, of everything that is happening in our world, I don't think we would have included something like this in our, you know, in our summit and festival. So now we're thinking out of the box, it's gonna be more exciting. So for me, it's that thing that I don't think the Art of Facing Fear is ending, but the beauty is that I've met Rob, I've met so many people that I'm collaborating with, even beyond this. And now I kind of feel like, oh, wow, I thought there was like 34 countries and maybe 200 delegates. I've got a whole village from the Art of Facing Fear that I need to make sure, you know, I want Rob to come, I want all of us sort of like a reunion to come to South Africa and all of us meet and talk and connect, but also create new works. And in terms of teaching as well, for theater students who thought theater is dead and this is end of it, now we have an evidence that should another pandemic come in, you know, always allow for new possibilities, think out of the box, mesh the two, create your own voice, and be, you know, part of change within your industry in the most artistic and creative way without losing the essence and the soul of you being a storyteller.
Yes. and who knows what the future of the Art of Facing Fear is, you know, to answer that, who knows? There's possibilities and we just don't know yet whether there's going to be more of it, whether we're going to do anything more with it. But there are possibilities just from that day where all three played the same day. I want to get a hold of all three versions and look at them. I think there's something more in it and a way to perhaps package it for more people to see it, and to see all of them together. But we don't know yet. It's so many artists who have come together, and who are working on other projects already as well. But I'm not ready to say that the art of facing fear is necessarily over.
No,
For one
no,
thing, Brazil, right? Yeah, Rodolfo's like, it's still running in Brazil. You know,
Yeah.
that version is still running, and there's always a chance that we'll have talks and something else will happen with the other versions. But
they will probably come back.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, I know we also spoke about how sometimes, you know, it will be fun to just mix different scenes from different, you know, so
yeah.
one, you know, if an actor from America plays a Black Lives Matter, I'm become a narrator. And also already it has been happening, and you've got a dancer, somebody doing physical theater in Brazil. So just keep thinking out of what else? So we are also in a classroom of the art of facing fear, right? We still in the rehearsal room, we're figuring it out and exploring, expanding. And I think that's the beauty again of theater, that theater always reminds you that you're a student of life, of the new forms and of creativity. So I think, like Rob said, we don't know. I can wake up tomorrow and say, guys, I've got a new idea, you know, and everybody's like, let's do it. But at least we have a base, a very strong foundation. We know it's possible. And I think that's the beauty of it.
Eduardo,
Oi. Então, o futuro, eu acho que a gente conseguiu uma coisa que não para os grandes centros, né? Então, as grandes companhias que estão nas grandes cidades. Eu acho que a gente, muito mais que isso, a gente abriu para atores e diretores e autores de cidades pequenas que não tem para quem mostrar, né? Então, elas tem um dia que elas mostram para a cidade e acabou. Aqui, a gente tem possibilidade de mostrar o tempo que quiser e, assim, o custo disso é muito pequeno, né, para uma produção teatral, né, presencial. Né? Então, eu acho que, mais que isso, a revolução vem a partir do momento que atores que não têm possibilidade de estar em centros como Praça Roosevelt, Broadway, seja lá onde for, possam fazer o seu trabalho e mostrar aquilo que vieram fazer, né? Eu acho que a democracia aí é muito ampla. E fora isso, é a oportunidade de a gente ter uma língua só, um idioma só, né? Hoje falamos um idioma só com essa ferramenta, né? Eu conheço a Napo, que é linda, o Rob, que, pô, lá do Alasca, quem iria pensar que eu ia falar com um cara lá do Alasca, né? Com uma figura lá da África, né? Ao mesmo tempo. Então, eu acho que o futuro está aí. Eu acho que já está definido que o teatro digital é um teatro que vai perdurar para todo sempre agora. Agora, o como fazer isso é cada um na sua, cada um vai pesquisar, vai saber como é que colocar o seu pensamento por essa ferramenta. Deu para entender?
Okay, so about the future, Eduardo said that we could open this digital theater to new publics, to new people, and to new actors, to new directors from small cities that usually they don't have whom to show it. Because when you are in a small city and you do a theater, a play, you do it once and you already show it to everyone, and then it's done. And now you have the possibility to show to a lot of people and to keep showing for a long time. And the costs to do this digital theater are lower, so everyone can do it. He says that it's kind of a revolution, because now you have actors who couldn't have the possibility to do their plays on Roosevelt or Broadway or other places. Now they have how to show their work, and that's very democratic. And he also said that right now we speak only one language, because with this tool, he is right now talking to Napo, who is in Africa, and to Rob, who's from Alaska. And in another situation, he couldn't do it. He couldn't even think about doing it, to talk to someone that's really, really far from him. So he thinks that the future, it's already here, it's already now, and that the digital theater, it will keep going, and it will keep, developing itself. And the only thing is, we don't know how it's going to be, because, each person will develop new things and new forms to do it, to use this tool.
Hey guys, if you like what we just did, there's going to be plenty more coming up. Please like, comment, subscribe. Our Venmo is in the description. Please support us if you can. Our cats need the money.